guys? Welcome to the Weekend Zone. I'm Britt Johnson. You can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson. Chris?
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRay the Fanatic.
We have a ton of stuff to talk about today, so we're going to get right into it. First, we're going to start with honorable mentions. This is all the stuff that happened during the week that wasn't super newsworthy, but definitely worth a mention. And we got to mention this one because it's Jackie's boy, LBJ. So he was asked on Uninterrupted, could he be teammates with Michael Jordan? So he says this: me personally, the way I play the game, team first, I feel like my best assets work perfectly with Mike. Mike is an assassin. When it comes to playing the game of basketball, scoring the way he scored the ball, me doing my ability of passing, my ability to read the plays in advance. So Brian Windhorst tweeted to that of what LeBron James said and said, as people compare and argue about their legacies, LeBron James says he's envisioned Michael Jordan as a teammate, not an adversary. Well, LeBron James did not like that at all. He clapped back and said, no, I didn't say I envisioned MJ as a teammate, not an adversary. A question was asked, do I think I could have been a teammate of his and complement his game? I love the greats and would have loved to play with him all during their runs because I am a historian of the game, but I also would die to compete versus every single one of them too. Don't ever get it twisted. Nevertheless, MJ, thank you for being my angel inspiration superhero. Do you think it was right for LeBron to clear up the fact that, like, listen, Brian, you kind of twisted my words here, bro. I didn't really say that. What are your thoughts?
I love it. I feel bad for Brian because we all know Brian Windhorst loves him some LeBron James. Sometimes I'm a little worried he loves him a little bit more than Jackie does.
It's impossible.
So I love that, because he could have easily just let it go because it was Brian, but he had no problem going right back at him. And I think everything he said was true. I mean, he answered the question, and I love the part that he had at the end saying, like, don't get it twisted. I still would love to compete against him. So, yeah, I had no problem with that. I think that was the right thing to do. Sorry, Brian. I know that's your boy, but sometimes you just get those
right,
things.
And Brian didn't mean any shade by saying it, but, like, he just got it wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it looks correct. A slight bit shady when everyone else is talking about, we have people who know good and damn well they couldn't play against MJ with any sort of success, and then you're like, oh, see, LeBron doesn't even want to play against him. That is not what the hell I said.
Right. So moving on to our second honorable mention, a couple young guys and another guy that's a little older actually recently got in trouble and arrested, and I'm going to just run down these names really quick. So Oregon signee Luke Hill was actually arrested this week for 8 charges, including attempted murder. Now, this is a kid that is a 4-star recruit, and he was the 15th ranked best cornerback in the country. So this isn't a scrub. He turned down he turned down scholarships from, like, Alabama and stuff like this. And you guys remember all Alabama's starting defensive lineup basically got drafted or whatever this year. So it's kind of crazy to see, like, a guy like that get arrested for attempted murder upon a bunch of other charges. Another guy, Tayshaun Hightower, was arrested a few weeks ago for murder. He was a draft hopeful. He played a couple years in Georgia and then went to Tulane, I believe, and then he was contemplating coming out this year to go enter into the draft, but obviously now can't do that because he is arrested for murder. And then a former Clemson player, Desmond Brown, who is 28 years old now, he went undrafted after he played in college, and then he was actually just charged in connection with a double murder of 2 women. The women were found in Georgia with bags over their heads, and they had been thrown over a bridge. They were sisters, and it's him and one of his guy friends that have been charged with the murder. So, Jackie, my question's to you. Do you think if sports was still going on, maybe these guys wouldn't be getting back into the things they have been doing clearly at this point?
That's a tough ask because we know Aaron Hernandez is out there, committing murders while he was in the middle of playing on an amazing team. So that's a tough ask. I think that, it's always crazy to me that they don't take 10 seconds and think, yo, I'm about to go in the draft. Let me calm my ass down. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand how they end up in these situations. I understand the anger. I understand thinking you've been wronged. I understand wanting to get back at somebody. I don't understand murder.
Yeah, I think you're right. Some people kind of already have this kind of in them a little bit, but I do think sports when they're busy with sports, maybe that helps them like deter them. Like some people like Aaron Hernandez are just crazy and they're going to do crazy stuff anyway. But I feel like some of these kids kind of just end up getting in bad situations because all the kids that were arrested did it with an accomplice. They had some friends with them. Tayshaun was one of 6 people that were arrested. So I think like just being back in those circles when like really those kids would have been at school right now, you know, they would have been at their school. They wouldn't have been back home with their friends. So I think like in certain situations, definitely, I think it plays a role. But again, at some point, people are going to end up doing what they're going to do. So with that, we're going to move over to Chris with Athlete Trash Talk.
Yes, we got some Athlete Trash Talk. And the first one goes to my guy, Can't Guard Mike, because he is not backing down when people try to, you know, talk about him the wrong way. And Devontae Parker, who a lot of you guys probably don't even know is still in the league because he was playing for the very, very trash Miami Dolphins for his entire career. And now hopefully things will get better with Tua. But until then, Devontae Parker needs to shut up. And I'm completely on my boy Michael Thompson's side. Well, before I go too ahead of myself, there was an IG post talking about who would you take in a matchup between Stephon Gilmore and Michael Thomas. Now, everyone's entitled to their opinion because we know that Stephon Gilmore has shown that he is the best corner for the last few years, and there's no question about that. I would, you know, as much as I love Michael Thomas, I would second guess it too, but because of size and because I know my guy, I think I would still go Michael Thomas. But that's one thing for a fan to have that opinion. When you got one of your colleagues coming out and blatantly making your point across, expect to hear back from the person that you were talking about. So Devontae Parker simply put down A, which was Stephon Gilmore. And then my boy Mike came in because Mike, you know, he got a little bit of a temper when it comes to people talking about his game. He came in and said, for you, yes, go run some numbers up, then you can talk. I lapped you and you've been in the league longer than me, first rounder. And he put a laughing emoji and then a nice little smiling emoji. Devontae Parker was upset. He didn't like that. He said, got some hard feelings there, brother? Let me get targeted 300 times a game. Ooh, more shots taken. And you think it would just end there? No, because Mike comes back with, in other words, you weak. They don't even put your name in the same sentence as me. Remember that. And nothing came back with Devontae Parker, but Mike wasn't done. He said, you're still not going to do nothing. It took you 6 years and 17 weeks to have a good game. Jesus Christ. GTFO, get the F out of here. Blame your parents, not no cute quarterback. And Devontae Parker tried to come back saying, quit crying, and then the rest I'm not even going to read because I feel like this battle is already lost.
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah, Mike comes back with the fact, and he's right. I mean, you could twist it any way you want. I actually like Devontae Parker. I've always felt bad that he was in Miami because there was nobody throwing to him. He is actually a really good receiver. But in this instance, he's completely wrong. I'm sorry. Michael Thomas got you on that. And you have to take that L and move on. And hopefully with Tua uses you the right way, and then we'll see your numbers go up a little bit. But sorry, this one.
So he's indirectly getting an L from you this week as well.
Yeah.
Indirectly. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. But you got to take it. Don't come at somebody who just proved that he's one of the greatest receivers in the game right now. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of fight you want. A Twitter fight.
Yeah.
Not a physical fight.
I guess, but I don't like, look, man, I don't like seeing like when one dude is like colossal, beast like Michael Thomas, he's beating down on this poor little guy that's trying to you know what I'm saying? So that's how I see
it's
this.
It's just Twitter.
I wish this was like, because I actually posted this on my Instagram. I was like, ooh, like with my popcorn or whatever, or on Twitter. And then somebody was just like, oh, is Parker, because people didn't know who Parker was, is he a quarterback? I was like, no, he's a receiver too. And then he's like, oh, this would have been good if they would have gotten to like go against each other. Right. Like, that's not going to happen. So it's like, you guys could keep going, but come on. I like to see the cornerback, like the Jalen Ramsey going against people.
I love those.
Stuff, yeah.
Yes, and Michael Thomas, like I said, hothead, and he's had quite a few cornerbacks come at them, and they've had their battles, and we played them on. It's a lot of good stuff, but yeah, Devontae Parker, stand down, my guy, stand down. On to the next one. Right. Next one, we got a quarterback versus a defensive back battle, and this one is Tyrann Mathieu versus Drew Lock. Now, again, a lot of you guys might not know who Drew Lock is because he's going in on his second year. He's a rookie quarterback, a second-year quarterback for the Broncos, and he had an okay season after Joe Flacco did not have a good start to the season. He got benched. So guys like Colin Cowherd and a lot of other analysts are thinking that Drew Lock's gonna have a great second season, and that he was picking apart defenses and blah blah blah. And Tyrann Mathieu, you gotta see me 2 times a year. Let's not crown this little kid just yet. So he not only talked his talk, he retweeted a picture or a video of when he locked up Cortland Sutton. And then he added this caption to that said video saying, Drew Lock don't be good, but he better stop playing with me. And then in the video, you see Tyrann Mathieu get the best of Drew Lock. And again, this is one of the situations like, you might be good. Like you said, you might be good at some time, but remember who you got to go through before we can start crowning this guy like the next coming or whatever in that division, because he still got to play some defenses. And even though the Chiefs have been talking about not having great defense, they made it work and they won a Super Bowl. So I'm going to take Tyrann Mathieu's side on this one, just because Drew Lock got a little bit more to prove to get that love from me. But that's it for me on trash talk, athlete trash talk.
Okay, so that means it's time for our snapbacks.
Yes, let's see what they got.
They're still kind of weak, guys, but you're trying. I appreciate it. So let's get right to these. This first one came from one of the lives this week, and he said, "Can someone else do the fumble, please?" No, they can't. I don't even have.
Next.
As far as all of us gone? Like,
I was about to say, what do you want? You want to take the mic?
See, and the thing is they'd be real mad if they tuned in and it wasn't on. They'd be like, where's the fumble?
Exactly.
What's going on?
Exactly.
This one came from last weekend's Weekend Zone, and it said the Three Stooges on LeBum ass. I'm assuming they meant LeBron, and it's only me on here that likes LeBron. So watch more, my guy. I don't know what else.
I think he just read the title. This is a simple case. He just read the title and then go with the entire video. Like, I don't understand. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
Come up with a better thing than
I'm saying.
Is like just because it was like Duke, Huey, Dewey, and Louie or something.
Right.
Like,
right. Something good. Right.
Something.
Trash.
And then this one, there's a few people that are co-signing on this nonsense. So this guy says, damn, this challenge really died out. It was popping a couple of years ago. And then somebody else says, that's what I was saying. And then Jay Gordon says, for real. Again, all y'all took time to comment and watch the whole, I don't understand.
I'm still watching though, so it's not that dead.
We got that view. We got that view. So, and
literally they're talking to a time where there's no sports going on right now. Right. We're doing the best we can. We're shooting from home. Like, chill out.
That's all I got, though.
All right, so let's go real quick with our L's. I'm going to start with mine. We found out the flu game was actually a food poisoning game on this week's episodes of The Last Dance, and then, which I already knew, actually. I did a story about it beforehand. But anyways, the guy that was the actual pizza delivery guy, showed himself and announced himself for a little clout. But you are actually getting my L, buddy, because you tried it. You did try to poison Michael Jordan. Don't say you didn't. You tried to say you didn't. You did. And it was still unsuccessful. And the Bulls still won the game. So you get a double L for just revealing yourself now for clout. And then you get an L for back then when you tried to do it and it didn't work out. If you got to kill somebody, kill him.
Oh, see, Britt, we just talked about that. No killing people.
No, wait.
Attempted murder? No. How are you not successful and you still go to jail?
Oh my God, and still watch your TV.
Oh my God.
My L is going easily to a guy that I like to go after very often. And because he decided to just make it so easy for me this week, I'm going to drink dinner with him. And look, you can say whatever you want to say. You sought out to get $25 million from your fan base on GoFundMe, and you only got $1,000 and you decided to close it out. I don't care about none of the context. That right there deserves an L for me, because obviously, let me tell you, man, the joke, it just didn't land, my guys. So that's the reason why you took time to GoFundMe. So that goes my L, goes to Spencer Dinwiddie.
All right, my L is going to go to Alex Bregman. Man, you cannot be involved in some scandal and then get mad that a documentary is going to be made. Even if that person is LeBron James and you guys were with the same agency, you look like a real punk saying, well, I'm just going to take my scandalous behind and go because I don't want to be with the same agency. You look like such a punk right now.
Right.
I'm so sorry. Man up.
Sad.
You definitely get my L.
All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the Weekend Zone. Everyone, happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Turn out this weekend in any way you can, even if it's just sitting in a little kiddie pool on your porch drinking beer. Have fun this weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Peace.